Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly partnered with the What the Funk shop. Please check out their store for all sorts of products. They have dice, miniatures, game master screens, home decorations, and many other things. You will find the link in the description and in the pinned comment. And make sure that you use my code for a special discount. Tonight, I am continuing my review series featuring Neurodrive Origins, a true D6 standalone isekai fantasy tabletop RPG. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review series, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time, we are going to talk about activation as well as combat. Activation is pretty much initiative in this game. When time is crucial, such as during combat or chases, one player, determined by the group, performs a dexterity test. If successful, the players act first, followed by the masters or game master's creatures. If the test fails, the master's creatures act first. Then the players. The side that acts first activates all of its members in whatever order is most advantageous, followed by the opposing side. This cycle repeats until the scene concludes. Once every creature from both sides has taken its turn, one round has passed, roughly the equivalent of 6 seconds. When it comes to movement, when it comes to actions in general, during an activation, a creature can perform a movement, an action, and say a short phrase. Now, what is a movement? You could move up to 6 spaces. You can use a skill requiring your movement, of course. You could pick up an item. You could change weapons, rise from prone, similar maneuvers. When it comes to actions, this is all about attacking, using a skill that requires an action, using an item, making a test roll, disengaging safely from foes before moving, or even taking another movement. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You could say that minor actions are covered by movement, apart from the movement itself. And your short phrase, of course, it's to communicate efficiently during the battlefield situation. Movement is measured in spaces. On a square grid map, each square represents a space, of course, and movement is limited to orthogonal directions. Alternatively, a hex grid can be used, or no map at all, treating each space as 5 feet of movement. And of course, you can always rely on the mind's eye. This game doesn't have like a very strict or rigid mechanic concerning positioning, so you could also handle it like that. When it comes to disengaging, when a creature moves away from an adjacent enemy to a non-adjacent space, the enemy gets an immediate opportunity to roll an attack against it. However, if the creature uses its action to disengage, it can move freely during the same activation without giving enemies a chance to strike. When it comes to combat itself, every offensive action is either melee or ranged. Two creatures are adjacent if the spaces they occupy touch at a side or a corner. If a creature is adjacent to an enemy, it cannot use ranged offensive actions. The maximum range for ranged attacks is determined by the game master. Certain circumstances grant advantage or disadvantage to offensive actions. In the case of advantage, if your target is surprised, if your target is flanked, if your target cannot see you very well. When it comes to disadvantage, maybe you cannot see the target. It works the other way around as well. Maybe the attacker, that is you are making a bare hands attack. Or perhaps the target has cover against the attack. And these are just a few circumstances, so you can apply any action that you can think of, or any circumstance to the attack. And this concludes this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about attacks and defense. When it comes to initiative, I think it makes sense that there could be the fastest character, the most reactive character in the group, serving as the initiative leader, determining if the group can act first. Now, when it comes to combat, it is very easy to understand that because of the simple categorization of movement, attack, or action, rather, action, and short phrase, you can apply any sort of maneuver, tactic, action employed to any of these categories to see how things will proceed during a particular combat situation. Thank you for watching this part of the review series. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the super thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, master roleplay and you will master the game. Once again, thank you and see you later.